Good morning. My name is Dr. Paul Kershaw. I'm a policy professor at the University of British Columbia and founder of Generation Squeeze. We are a national charity working to improve well-being for all generations. And our message in Ottawa today is straightforward. Canada is within reach of the most significant improvements to income security and affordability in decades, and we can do so without raising tax rates or the deficit. But only if Ottawa is going to redirect billions in subsidies currently flowing to retirees who already have six-figure incomes so that we better direct them to Canadians facing far greater financial pressures. Let me tell you what's on the table. The federal government could already be eliminating poverty for seniors by adding $5,000 to the 400,000 retirees who fall below the official poverty measure. We could deliver a $3,000 annual rent subsidy to 1 million young people struggling to afford a home. We could maintain the full $4,200 Canada student grant for 1 million post-secondary students, rather than cut it to $3,000, which is the plan for next year. We could subsidize 100,000 more $10-a-day childcare spaces so that Ottawa actually meets its target of putting in place 250,000 of those. And we could reduce youth unemployment by expanding the Youth Climate Corps from a 1,000-person pilot to tens and tens of thousands of young people, helping them to build skills and gain leadership and strengthen the climate's resilience all at the same time. All of that could be paid for by modernizing Canada's largest income security program, Old Age Security. According to the Spring Economic Update, in 2024, OAS cost $80 billion. And by 2030, it's on track to reach $109 billion. That is absorbing more new public spending than any other federal program by a long shot. A surprising 16% of the total OAS budget goes to seniors with household incomes above $100,000, a subsidy that often exceeds $18,000 for retired couples who have six-figure incomes. By 2030, that amount will equal $17.5 billion annually flowing to retirees with these incomes above six figures, even after we take account of the current clawback rules for OAS. And that $17 billion number is big. It's more than double what Ottawa spends on $10-a-day childcare. It's nearly 10 times larger than this spring's investments to make it easier to afford a home. It dwarfs all spending in the spring statement for groceries, trades training, and clean growth combined. And remember, this is just the portion of OAS going to financially secure retirees with six-figure incomes. At a time when Ottawa projects deficits above $50 billion annually for years to come, this $17 billion subsidy can no longer be justified as the best use of public dollars. So, it is time to trim OAS benefits, but only for retirees with household incomes above $100,000, reducing their subsidies by about $3,000 after taxes. And this change would importantly protect or improve benefits for 80% of seniors, while reducing subsidies just for the top 20% of OAS recipients, all of whom have incomes 35% above the national median. To be clear, this alternative, it would not cut OAS spending. It would simply slow its growth. Projected spending under this revised plan would be closer to $100 billion instead of the $109 on the books for the end of the decade. And that roughly $9 billion annual savings is enough to pay to eliminate seniors' poverty, help young renters, strengthen student supports, expand childcare, and invest in youth employment, all at once. Now, Canadians are ready for this change. Polling this spring by Research Co. shows that 3/4 support modernizing OAS in this way, including, very importantly, 3/4 of seniors. And to demonstrate this readiness, I'm joined in video today by Canadians of all ages who call for OAS to be modernized. And if I could have you cue the video, that would be great.
It's totally nuts.
It doesn't make sense.
It's really shocking and upsetting, frankly.
It doesn't make sense.
It does not make sense
to send $18,000 a year
to retired couples
with six-figure incomes.
When there are still people living in poverty.
When others can't afford the basics.
$185,000 and still get the full OAS subsidy. Like that's just insane to me.
What are we doing?
It makes no sense to me that I receive old age security. I'm not poor. I'm not struggling. And yet I receive a bonus every month for simply being a senior.
The people who are receiving the benefits don't really need it, and a lot of them would probably tell you that.
I would give it all up because I can afford to.
I don't need the money.
It's just unconscionable that I get to go golfing or get on an airplane while someone can't even afford their rent.
It should be allocated based on need, not age.
It seems that by, reallocating how we're currently structuring OAS, we could lift all seniors out of poverty.
It's really frustrating to see such a large portion of our budget. In fact, I think it's the largest line item in our budget is for OAS payments when a significant number of these seniors don't need it.
We have all this money being spent, and we're still A, leaving people behind, and B, giving money where it doesn't need to go.
It's time to reduce.
OAS
subsidies for financially secure retirees.
Asking affluent retirees to take slightly less so we can invest in affordability for their kids and grandkids. We could repurpose some of this money.
Let it go to seniors living in poverty.
It's probably a good idea to invest in the future generations.
Offer capital for these young people to start businesses, to really build the economy. That'd be cool.
I'm on 50 childcare wait lists.
Buy food.
Gas prices at the moment are bananas.
University, the rent.
Help make housing more affordable and make life more affordable.
Life more affordable.
More affordable for millennials and Gen Z.
That's great, thank you. We can turn it off, yeah, that's great, thank you. So you have just heard from Canadians speaking with one voice across generations. Canada cannot build the resilient economy we want while billions flow to retirees with six-figure incomes, even as poor seniors and younger Canadians struggle to afford the basics. The speakers you just heard were Caleb Hosey, Richard Diaz, Sophie Lelou, Jeff Wielden, James Aseme, Chris Smithson, Billy Wheel, Kareem Kadu, Gayleen Davies, Nahid Jalani, Sophia Schweitzer, Connor Fullerton, Verena Rosa Roker, Rachel Cairns, along with Harry Grossman, Stephanie Van Slyke, Peter Ladner, and Lisa Gordon. Together, their message of intergenerational solidarity is clear and shared on behalf of the 60,000 plus Canadians who are part of the Gen Squeeze network. We call on the Prime Minister to modernize old age security in Budget 2026 this fall, and to do so in order to unlock the largest improvements to affordability and income security in Canada that we will have seen in decades, benefiting young and old alike. Thank you.
Any questions?
Nice to see you again.
Very good to see you again. This is your third time in 6 months, and I think you were last here in February.
You're right. It was last in February. I don't remember the time before, but if you're tracking, I will believe you. Okay.
But I guess the big thing in Western Canada, where you're based since then, is that we now know that we're going ahead with some sort of question in Alberta on Alberta's future in a united Canada. There's, I think, an underappreciated generational component of this. Alberta's got a somewhat younger median age than a number of the other provinces. One of the big attack lines we're already seeing the separatists use is, hey, we're sending billions of dollars to Ottawa to pay for these bloated programs, and if you're going to use that as a line of attack, I think the OAS is a pretty clear target, just given its size and scale. So is this something that you think you would refashion as almost a national unity issue, and is scaling back OAS something that would be good not only for Canadians, but also for the unity of the Federation?
Well, I think the case to reform OAS was made well before the sovereignty issue became a significant political issue in Alberta, and it will continue to be important to do after that question has been answered. I take your point that the concerns in Alberta about dollars going in inefficient ways to Ottawa could be ascribed absolutely to OAS. This moment of sending, as I said, $17 billion to retirees who have relative financial security compared to many, including many younger Canadians in Alberta, is something that needs attention. But I would set aside the conversation of how the sovereignty movement is or is not unfolding in Alberta and really focus on the prize that's available through reforming OAS from coast to coast to coast on its own terms, because it does make available to us the biggest improvement to affordability for young and old alike that we'll have seen in decades. It wasn't that long ago that we did the Canada Disability Benefit. Well, that costs $1 billion a year. Or we're excited about the school food program introduced nationally. Well, that costs a quarter billion dollars a year. We're talking here about repurposing $9 billion. The scale of ambition is just massive, and it allows us to, for 1 million young people, do substantive rental subsidies, help 1 million post-secondary students withstand what would otherwise be a cut to their support, actually meet the target of $10 a day childcare spaces set by Ottawa, $1.5 billion to address youth unemployment further, and first and foremost, eliminate seniors' poverty by adding that $5,000 for every retiree who falls below the official poverty measure. That's a scale of ambition to address affordability that we haven't seen in my professional lifetime, and it is in reach for this Prime Minister and all of his cabinet at a moment that we cannot afford to be spending our dollars unwisely as we face, as we all know, the economic trials as a result of our neighbors to the south and an increasingly precarious geopolitical set of circumstances.
Thank you. This concludes the press conference. Merci. C'est ce qui met fin à cette conférence de presse.